And we are back on the You Don't Know Jack show. And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, except for me, Super Bowl talk. And, well, Matthew, too. His team's not in it, but...
I think it's only my favorite part at this point.
I mean, the game is coming up, and I'm looking forward to the food that should be good. I think my aunt and uncle are smoking some food, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to maybe some homemade ice cream and some halftime performance from Lady Gaga. Maybe won't be the best performance ever, but looking forward to that stuff and hopefully a good game.
I'm excited for that halftime show.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lady Gaga's going to keep it entertaining, and not for nothing. Like, mind you, I'm not even really a huge Lady Gaga fan. Not really at all. Not for nothing, but she did, what did she sing? She sang the national anthem, I believe, at last year's Super Bowl, and she did a really good job. And she was classy about it. She was very red, but she was classy about it. And, yeah, I honestly think this will be a good halftime show, if at the very least entertaining.
I really wish Adele had not turned down the offer. I really would like to have seen her do a halftime show.
So you can hear her talk about the other side?
Yeah, and talk about her ex-boyfriend that she's hoping that her new... Yeah, all that stuff. I just love her voice.
Or how she'll... What if she sets... But the problem here is that what if she were to set fire to the rain?
Yeah, that'd be freaky.
And then she would just
everyone running around on fire.
Yeah, and then that evil person that she is, she would just watch it burn as she touches your face.
Oh, let's see how many more old songs of hers that we can get in here.
I honestly don't know.
Oh, you know the the Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl when the Red Hot Chili Peppers played?
Yeah.
Remember they sang at halftime what the Broncos did in the first half and the second half. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. And that's exactly what they did.
They did.
Yes, that's exactly
fair.
Right. So yeah, biggest storylines heading into the game, Daniel. What are some of the storylines that you're looking forward to or looking at, or you have looked at already?
So by storylines, are you talking about like matchups? Are you talking about like stuff in the media?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Just anything.
Anything?
Yeah.
Anything? Okay, so it seems like everyone's talking about how the Patriots are going to stop the Falcons' offense. But what I think is honestly the more important one of these two things is how the Falcons' defense is going to stop the Patriots' offense. Because although the Falcons have an amazing offense, people, for some reason, are like not counting that the Patriots also have a really good offense. And they're capable of putting 30 to 40 points on the board as well, again, especially against an Atlanta defense that has not been that great. Mm-hmm. They've been fast. They've been sneaky good at times, but on paper, they're not that great, especially their secondary. So I think the main storyline here is how are the Falcons going to handle the Patriots offense?
Yeah, no,
not the other way around.
I agree with that assessment, but I'm going to let Martinez come back with something on that.
Well, I mean, I said on our podcast that it's going, and I also have an article up about it called "Coaches versus Coaches," where I go the opposite way, and I think a big part of it is Atlanta's offense against the Patriots' defense, and pretty much what I think is that the Patriots, as Bill Belichick has wanted to do, take away your strengths, is going to try and take away Julio Jones by bracketing him with an outside corner, safety help over top. And so by doing that, the Patriots front seven will be able to try to key in and stop the run. So that's why I think Taylor Gabriel and Mohamed Sanu and even their tight end Austin Hooper are going to need to step up, and Kyle Shanahan's going to have to schemed them open, and I know I know Kyle Shanahan's a really talented offensive coordinator, so he's gonna have to really do a good job. Scheme Taylor Gabriel, Mohamed Sanu, help them get good games, and that will force the Patriots off the line of scrimmage and open up the run game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with I agree with Daniel on his point about the storyline of Dan Quinn stopping Tom Brady, though, because Matt Ryan is never been in a Super Bowl, and not to say that he can't be good in a Super Bowl, but he also has choked in the playoffs before multiple times, and I just think Bill Belichick is going to have some sort of game plan that is going to throw Matt Ryan off his game. And I mean, I think this game is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close, but I think there's going to be something that Bill Belichick does that's going to make Matt Ryan less good, I guess would be a way to say it. And then I think it's going to be up to Dan Quinn to stop Tom Brady on the other side.
So in my opinion, one of the key matchups here, and what Matt was saying about you're going to bracket Julio Jones with two corner and a safety. And a lot of people seem to think Malcolm Butler is going to be matched up on him, which I would love to see, honestly, but I disagree. And I talked about this in the Armchair Express podcast. Self-plug, go check that out. Anyways, that I believe it's going to be Eric Rowe on Julio Jones, bracketed as well by Devin McCourty over the top. And Eric Rowe, although he's a newer acquisition by the Patriots, he was traded off of the Eagles, and although there's been times where he's gotten beat, he's usually on the outside corner, sometimes by himself or with just Daron Harmon over the top to help him. But Eric Rowe is 6'1" and he's fast. So Julio Jones is 6'3" and also fast. And Eric Rowe, I believe, is the fastest of the Patriots corners. So that kind of just maybe keep up with Julio Jones. Doesn't even have to, he just has to be able to be there and keep up with him and have Devin McCourty there to help, because even just seeing that, Matt Ryan might see that Julio Jones is not completely open, and although you can throw it to him and have him make a play, it might be safer to then go to Taylor Gabriel or Mohamed Sanu or Hooper, for example. So I think Eric Rowe and Devin McCourty on Julio Jones is what a lot of people are going to see.
All right. What do you think about that opinion there, Matthew?
I mean, it makes sense if you put your if you have a top safety like Devin McCourty in the back, it makes sense to bracket Julio Jones with a quote unquote lesser corner with Devin McCourty in the back end, and then just use Malcolm Butler to isolate the number two. But I think Taylor Gabriel is pretty underrated in the slot. And so if he has a big game, that could really mix things up.
Yeah. I love me some Taylor Gabriel. I said this again in the Armchair Express podcast, but I love Taylor Gabriel. And I kind of wish I had someone here who knew more about the Falcons, because I would love to see Taylor Gabriel come to the Patriots. Only problem is that he's not white, and we know Belichick likes his white receivers.
That's true.
But other than that, he fits the mold. Small, shifty, fast receiver.
Yeah, I don't get why Belichick does not like many other receivers, I guess.
The Patriots' offense is so white that they have a running back named James White.
Yes. Yes, that makes up for him not being white, I guess.
Yeah, right.
So we are definitely not racist on this podcast. This country is of all colors. So
I'm Hispanic, so
I'm Hispanic.
Yeah, so this is me and Matt are both Hispanic.
And I am white, so I am not racist. So just so everybody knows, I'm not. We're all Americans, right?
We're all people, allegedly. I've never actually met you. Too. For all I know, you guys might not be peoples.
I'm an alien.
Reptilian.
All right, moving on. So, do you guys think? Do you think the Brady revenge thing has just been played out way too much, or do you think that it's like realistic that he's trying to get his revenge here?
Well, let's be honest. Although I do think it's a little played out, Brady is kind of a psycho and a little bit of a maniac, and he's still not exactly over the fact that he was drafted 199th overall.
Oh wow!
And it's only he's still not over that. He has even just as a point to prove it, he has this shirt with Under Armour, and in the commercial he's wearing the shirt and it says 199 on it. That's all it says.
Oh really?
That just goes to prove like Brady, like he's still upset over that, and like he's because people were saying like, you know, what team would Brady want to go to if he was to get traded and so the Patriots could keep Jimmy Garoppolo. And I thought, you know, maybe the 49ers, because he's a 49ers fan. He grew up a 49ers fan. He loved Joe Montana. He was at the catch game.
Oh.
And then, but either before or after they played the 49ers this year, he came out and said how he's still resentful that the 49ers didn't draft him, especially because they had him in for a tryout and they didn't want him. So he still resents that. And that was 15 years ago at this point.
Wow. Yeah, and he didn't. It was kind of weird though. He was getting kind of emotional. He had a kid ask him about who his hero was. Yeah, and that was kind of interesting. I didn't think I could see Tom Brady get emotional, but obviously I was wrong.
So there's this narrative in the NFL and in the media that Tom Brady is an a-hole and he's arrogant and he's cocky. But I'm sorry, as a Patriots fan, I've seen a lot of him off the field. That guy is a really nice, friendly guy. On the field, don't get me wrong, if he was not my quarterback, I'd hate the guy. Like, I'd respect the hell out of him, and as a competitor and realize his greatness, I hope I would anyways. But on the field, I can understand why people say that he's a crybaby and stuff, because he's passionate, he's emotional on the field, he yells, and he gets up and he's into the game, and I love that as a fan because he's competitive. He wants nothing short of perfection. Mm-hmm. But off the field, really nice, friendly, humble guy, and many players, many people who have been with this organization have, like, I don't think I've heard anyone say that Tom Brady is actually like an a-hole or arrogant. Everyone says that he's humble and friendly.
Yeah, he's not Aaron Rodgers.
Going back to the Brady's revenge thing, it's Tom Brady. Like, how much more motivation would he need? Like, Tom Brady doesn't need motivation to win the Super Bowl, so I think it's really kind of overplayed.
Yeah.
You know, and as much as I don't want the Patriots to win, I think it would be incredibly funny seeing if Roger Goodell had to hand the Super Bowl trophy off to Tom Brady.
Yes, that is why.
I'd love that.
I just love seeing Roger Goodell. I would just love to see him do that. That would be the most funny thing in the NFL this season, other than the Falcons beating the Packers. But it would. But the thing with the Falcons winning, I kind of want the Falcons to win just because I've never won it. But at the same time, it's like, well, then there's another team, the Vikings are not, or another team that the Vikings are closer to being the only team that hasn't won a Super Bowl. Obviously, Cleveland and many others haven't, but just gets me in my mind thinking, yeah, we're cursed. We're never winning a Super Bowl. We're the only team that won't.
Does it hurt, like, seeing a team like the Patriots, like, that is... Okay, so let me throw this fact out to you. The statistic that I saw the other day is that Tom Brady has never gone more than 2 seasons without being in a Super Bowl.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, think about it. He was in the 2001. They missed 2002. He was back in 2003 and 2004. And then he missed 2005. He missed 2006. He was there for 2007. He missed 08, 09, and then 10, and he was back in 11. So whatever that it was. And then after 11, he was back in 14, and now he's back in 16.
Oh, my gosh.
7 out of 15 years in the league. 7 out of 15 years in the league. At some point,
And
that is almost a 50%.
Too.
Yeah, that is nearly 50% of the time he's going to the Super Bowl. At a certain time, you got to respect that.
I respect it, but I hate it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what I'm saying. So does it like, is it upsetting to see a team like that? And I'm not even trying to be conceited or anything, but because I don't have that outside perspective being a Patriots fan.
Yeah. No.
How upsetting is it to see a team like that when you don't have a Super Bowl as a Vikings fan?
It definitely hurts. And I am an underdog enthusiast, obviously being a Vikings fan, rooting for the Vikings to win a Super Bowl, and they're usually the underdog. So I'm usually an underdog guy. So I like I want the Falcons to win because it gives me hope that someday maybe the Vikings will win. But at the same time, it's like, gosh, they even won a Super Bowl. We can't win one. We're doomed.
You're not the Browns, though.
We're not the Browns, but at least the Browns don't give their fans any hope. The Vikings give us hope and then just have it come crashing down.
And then they crush it.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. I was speaking to a Browns fan once, and he said that it's kind of just like, it doesn't really hurt anymore. It's kind of just like a dull, constant pain. So he's just kind of used to it.
Yes, that is kind of right. But at the same time, I was not expecting them to miss the playoffs after 5-0.
That's fair. I don't think anyone was. I thought everyone, seeing them at 5-0, I thought they were legitimate. Like I was scared of that defense.
Yeah, I was thinking Patriots-Vikings Super Bowl there for a while, and
I wasn't against that either. I saw that. I saw the teams in the NFC, and I'm just like, I think the Vikings have a very good chance of going all the way.
And I thought that they would lose to the Patriots. That's kind of what I said at 5-0. I think the Vikings could make the Super Bowl, but they'll lose to the Patriots because Tom Brady will figure out how to get past Zimmer's defense, and Sam Bradford will choke or something. I don't know, but. Yeah, he choked obviously before then, or the Vikings did. All of the above.
I thought it might turn out to be like a Broncos situation, just where the defense carries the offense all the way.
Yeah,
I think it was very possible that could have happened because I mean, although Peyton Manning was like, his arm wasn't there, his mental functioning still was. He was still a great quarterback mentally. Mentally.
I think that's what so many people underestimate. Like, look at basically the same defense minus like 2 players that the Broncos had, and then their offense was basically the same, and the only thing was missing was Peyton Manning, and look where they were. They didn't even make the playoffs. So. Yeah.
Peyton Manning underrated. Who'd ever thought they'd hear that?
Yes.
But going back to this Super Bowl, how like, do you guys think? Well, first off, in case anyone here doesn't know, the Patriots Super Bowls have always been decided within 4 points.
Yes, I heard you say that on the Armchair podcast. That's good for people that want a good game.
Yeah, and people, I've already heard people like saying that there might be blowouts on either side, which I don't think is. I think it's going to be a close game. The Patriots always play a close game in the Super Bowl, which, as nerve-wracking as it is, makes for good football.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, I'm going to have to vote in favor of the Patriots.
What?
Any given what? Yeah, right.
Why?
Any given Sunday that I feel the Patriots can stand up to any team in the league. Yeah. And yeah.
I wish I had
what are your
that
guys' thoughts?
I wish I had that confidence about my NFL team.
Maybe one day you will.
I had that feeling going into the AFC Championship game this year.
Oh no,
yeah. Didn't work out.
Yeah, I know how you feel on that one. We've been to too many championship games. We end up choking away. But yeah, I know. I think that your defense was kind of underrated a little bit, maybe because of Mike Tomlin. But yeah, Tom Brady just shredded them to pieces, which can become to expected because he's great, and that defense was not the greatest. So I mean, he can make good defenses look bad, like anytime. It's like
Yeah, and and thank you for that, which is why I believe that the game plan is going to be very similar to the game plan against the Steelers. Steelers have a high-powered offense. Their defense is not as great. Is not as good as their offense, and is although I think both the Steelers and the Falcons' defense are underrated.
Yeah.
If the Patriots come out of the gate swinging like they did against the Steelers, get that defense on their heels and put points up on the board, that defense is not used to trailing.
Yes.
Neither is that offense, actually. The Falcons aren't used to trailing, and not for nothing, the Falcons are 11-5 going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They are a beatable team.
Yeah.
So Bill Belichick is going to look over those 5 losses. What happened? How did they lose? And he's going to take advantage of that. And I think part of the game plan is come out the gate swinging and get that defense on its heels.
Yeah, I think the difference is I think Kyle Shanahan is a better offensive coordinator than Todd Haley, and I think the Falcons are just going to be better at executing than the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'd love, for the sake of my heart, I'd love to see the Patriots just jump out to an early lead and coast. But as a football fan, I want to see a close game. Like, my favorite Super Bowl to this day is obviously Seahawks versus Patriots with that last, second interception by Malcolm Butler.
Oh, yeah.
And that was amazing, in my opinion.
I was laughing because I wanted the Patriots to win that game because I was not liking the Seahawks because I do not like Pete Carroll at all. I think he's obviously a good coach, but I just do not like his run around like a kid, like he's a player mentality. I just don't.
He's a player's coach.
Yeah, and I just don't like it personally. But I was just laughing so hard, and then all the memes that I think that's kind of when the memes started coming out, like officially. It's when Pete Carroll. Hey Pete, do you want to go see a movie or something? Nah, I'll pass.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, in my household, me and my brother still watch that ending more than we should. And randomly, if something bad happens to one of us, even if it's something just if I spill a little bit of my drink, I'll be like, oh no, which is exactly what Pete Carroll did at that interception. High pitched voice and everything. Oh no.
It's like me watching an Aaron Rodgers sack or interception on repeat.
Yes. And it just brings joy into my life.
Yes, and that's as a Vikings fan, I know that if my team can't be happy, then I don't want the Packers to be happy either.
That's fair.
So, what do you guys think will determine the outcome? Do you think it's just do you think it's mainly the Quinn stopping Brady, or do you think it's going to come down to a turnover? I think somebody on your podcast said there will be no turnovers. That was one of their bold predictions.
They did. Someone predicted that.
Yeah,
it was okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I said that with no real evidence or thought. I just said, you know what? Because I want to see, that's just going to make it for an incredibly entertaining game.
Yes.
Although you could argue that turnovers could make the game exciting.
It could.
Yeah. I'll say 2 things about the turnover. In the playoffs, Tom Brady is kind of a sneaky bad quarterback as far as turnovers go, because he turns the ball over in the playoffs more than he does in the regular season. I mean, this whole regular season, he only threw 2 interceptions, and in the playoffs, he's already thrown 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's sneaky bad in that sense, which is not a good thing, but it happens. And then I believe the Falcons, something in they have a defensive turnover in the last 10 games, something like that.
Oh wow.
Don't quote me on that. So there's a very good chance that you might see a turnover actually in favor for the Falcons. And I'd love to see it on the other way around where the Patriots defense causes a turnover, because they've been sneaky good at that this season. They also have turnovers in each of the last I don't want to put a number on it because I know I'm going to get it wrong. It's not as much as the Falcons, but something like in a turnover in like the last 6 or 7 games. So both of these teams. Okay, so I think this is weird. The Patriots defense is both under and overrated. It's overrated because they're not the number one. They have the title of the number one scoring defense, but I don't think they're that good. They're underrated because I think they're still better than what people give them credit for.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
As confusing as that sounds.
And I think Bill Belichick just makes them that much better just because of his coaching and the way he develops his players.
Yes. Okay, I got a question for you guys.
All right. Fire.
Every Super Bowl, there's a breakout player. So Carson, who's the breakout player for the Falcons? Ooh. Unknown, lesser known player that just balls out.
Ooh, that's a good question. You thinking offense, defense, doesn't matter? I'm thinking whichever one you want. I personally think it's going to be Taylor Gabriel on offense. Taylor Gabriel, yeah, I could see that because I think if you have help on Julio Jones, like you guys were saying, if you put Eric Rowe on him and then have somebody up there, and then you have Mohamed Sanu who probably plays the outside, maybe against Malcolm Butler, then who's going to cover Taylor Gabriel? And I think
it's going to be Eric Rowe on Jones, Malcolm Butler on Sanu, and then leaving Logan Ryan on Gabriel.
Okay.
So Logan Ryan has been good at times, bad at others, but the problem is that Taylor Gabriel is just so fast.
Okay. Yeah, you know what I think? I think somebody mentioned this. I think Taylor Gabriel could be, but another guy to keep an eye on would be their fullback Patrick DeMarco. I think he could have some big vulture touchdowns where he'll just come up and have like 2 goal line touchdowns. They'll give it to him, and he'll like score touchdowns just to fake the Patriots defense out. He could have some big touchdowns in the game, which could make him a little bit more famous than what he is, and he's a fullback.
Okay. All right, and what about you, Matt? Who do you think on the Falcons?
For the Falcons, I'm gonna have to go. I mean, I've already talked about Taylor Gabriel. I think we've talked about him quite a bit. So I'll go Keanu Neal, safety.
Their safety? Okay.
Yeah, he's their rookie safety. He's one of those, and, I talked about him on our podcast as well.
Enforcer type.
Yeah, the enforcer. Mm-hmm. I think, if he catches a receiver on a crossing route, good night.
He's going to lay them out.
Yeah, he's going to, send a message early. He could really
have fun in the hospital.
Yeah, he could. Well, let's hope not. But he could really.
But I mean, he's going to lay the boom.
Yeah, he could help close up the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I said Taylor Gabriel already. So sticking with you, Matt, who's the breakout player for the Patriots, son?
James White.
Oh God! It very may well be because he is actually like stupid good on screen passes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, actually, I'll probably have to go with maybe not breakout, or actually, no, I was gonna say Logan Ryan, but I think I'm gonna go with Vincent Valentine. Is that his first name, Valentine, the defensive tackle?
Vincent Valentine, yeah, you're right. He's a defensive tackle.
Yeah. I think he can, the Patriots are going to want to stop the run. I think he might be able to contribute quite a bit.
Okay. I mean, he did back up the Steelers in the AFC Championship game, like on a really good play. That's fair.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Okay, and what about you, Carson?
I am thinking that it's going to be one of 2 guys that's going to break out. It's not going to be, Brady's going to hit, not Edelman, not Amendola, none of those guys. Those guys are kind of well known. I think it's going to be Malcolm Mitchell or Michael Floyd that's going to have a big game. One of those 2 guys is going to have a monster game.
I haven't heard many people say Mike Floyd. I didn't think of that. I was going to agree with you with Malcolm Mitchell, my boy, the book club, as he's known among Patriots fans, because he goes to a book club.
Oh.
And he also has his own book out there. I don't remember the name, but yeah.
Oh.
So Malcolm Mitchell, I agree. I think he's going to be sneaky good. He's been pretty solid for the Patriots this year, and he has Brady's trust as a rookie, which is that's not a small like feat there to have Brady's trust already.
Yeah.
So Malcolm Mitchell, I agree with that. And then other than that, I was gonna say Deion Lewis, but after the Houston game, people kind of like know who he is now.
Yeah.
But if I gotta give like a sneaky good player, someone maybe on the defense, I'm either gonna say Eric Rowe, who again covering Julio Jones and not as well known, or maybe Deron Harmon, who is a safety, along with Devin McCourty, who he tends to have a lot of late game interceptions, which is something that would be really nice to have in a game like this.
I've got a prediction for your defense. I think there's going to be a linebacker who has a really, really big play, whether it's a fumble recovery or it's an interception, because it would just be like that, just to say to Jamie Collins, yeah, take that, Jamie Collins. We can win with Super Bowl without you. We got turnovers on the linebacking core.
I'd love that. Probably Dante Hightower.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know what? Maybe Barkevious Mingo, who was traded from the Browns and hasn't done anything all year. This one game, he's going to ball out. Barkevious Mingo. I want it. It's set in stone. It's happening.
Yes. That would be hilarious to the Browns and Jamie Collins. Oh, my gosh.
Yes. That'd be the perfect scenario.
Oh, my gosh. That would be hilarious. Oh, man. Do you think that would just be hilarious, Matt, or would you just find that annoying?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way the game goes. But, I mean, yeah, to see Kiki Mingo go from the Browns and avoid the 1-15 season, that would be pretty funny.
That'd be pretty awesome, in my opinion.
IMO. All right. So what quarterback do you think will play better, or do you think Matt Ryan will choke, or do you think Tom Brady won't be as good? Obviously, I think Matt Ryan's had the better season as a whole, but I don't know if he's going to show up for this game or what. What's going to happen?
Well, I'm going to argue with you on that Matt Ryan point for a second, saying that he's better as a whole. Because if you go check out PFF, Pro Football Focus, they have Brady rated as the better quarterback of the two overall. The only thing that Matt Ryan beats him in is his rushing capability.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, Pro Football Focus, I'm not a fan of Pro Football Focus. I think their ranking are kind of arbitrary.
Well, I get where you're coming from on that. I get where they're coming from on that, just because I think overall Matt Ryan's got way more weapons than what Tom Brady does, because and I think he's got a better, more consistent running game with Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. So I can see that point with play action and all that stuff, but I don't know. I think Matt Ryan still had the better year.
Yeah. Which is fair. I think, honestly, I'd give the MVP to Matt Ryan. Yeah. I'd love Brady to have it, but I think it's fine. And
Goodell's got to give him the trophy, so he's not going to give him the MVP.
And you know what? I'd actually, yeah, right, exactly. I'd rather Matt Ryan get the MVP. You want to know why? Because it's something like 15 of the past MVPs have not won a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? That's fine. Give it to Matt Ryan. I don't need it.
And when is the MVP actually announced? Is it announced the night before the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think it's going to be coming in the next couple days.
It's soon.
Because I think it was announced. I think it was announced like before the Super Bowl last year that Cam was the MVP, and then he did not do anything against the Broncos, and he had a terrible year this year, which actually we predicted on our show that the Panthers weren't going to have a very good year. But anyways.
And then the other thing I was going to say is I think although Brady, there has been games where he hasn't performed great in playoffs and the Super Bowl, I think it's more likely for Matt Ryan to not show up and not to perform well.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been in this position before. Brady has. This is his 7th time in this position. So I think it's more likely that Matt Ryan won't be able to handle it than Brady.
Yeah.
And the only reason Brady did poorly in any of these playoff games have been against really good defenses, which unfortunately the Falcons do not have.
Yeah. Martinez?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sorry. I'm just tired right now.
Tired of
I
talking
completely
about the
blanked out.
Patriots?
Yeah, it's just kind of exhausting. I kind of blanked out. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, obviously I think Matt Ryan would be the most likely to choke, but I don't know. Do you think Dan Quinn can find a way to stop Brady? I just don't know if he can, you know? I mean, he did stop Rodgers, but Brady is better than Rodgers. I don't care what anybody says. I'll take Brady in the playoffs any day over Rodgers.
I just don't know if the Falcons have the playmakers there to stop Brady.
Yeah, maybe
part of
they have a really young defense.
Yeah.
The part of the reason why the Falcons. I'm sorry. No, continue.
Yeah. Their defense is just so young. I mean, they've got Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, who are both in their first years, and then Vic Beasley's only in the second year. So I think if that might be their biggest weakness is just inexperience on defense.
And so like what I was going to say about that is they were able to handle Rodgers, but also because of the Falcons jumped out to a quick lead.
Yeah.
So and because the Packers secondary has been decimated by that point. So if that's not the case with what?
But I think Dan Quinn did a good job finding a way to get pressure on Rodgers, because I think that was a big difference in the game. Rodgers had not faced a lot of pressure, and then they started bringing the heat, and Rodgers couldn't handle it. So I wonder if Tom Brady would have a similar problem or not.
Well, Rodgers, that's actually very possible, but Rodgers tends to hold on to the ball a lot longer because he can make time, while Brady has...
His offensive line's just going to give him time, which they do a lot of the time, and he throws...
On the other hand, Brady, on the other hand, has one of the quickest,
releases.
He's able to get, releases in the game when he's able to get that ball away. He only has it an average of 2.3 seconds.
Yeah.
Before it's out of his hands.
Yeah, it is. Bradford had a really good release this year, too, there for a while. He was one of the better ones on quick releases this season, too, which is not because he's that good. It's because he had to do it, because...
He had to.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah. So it's going to be harder, in my opinion, for the Falcons to disrupt Brady because he can get rid of it that fast, because he has a player like Julian Edelman, 90% of the time isn't going to burn you for a 40 to 50 yard bomb.
Right.
He's going to catch a ball underneath the defense for a good 4 yards, and he's going to turn it into a 9-yard, 10-yard gain.
Yeah, yak.
So
yards after the catch.
Unless you want to be like Madden with the rack, which I honestly don't know what rack stands for.
Yes,
I think it's
I don't get that either.
run after the catch. That's what it is. Run after the catch.
Why don't they just stick to how it was? I don't get that.
I don't know, but yak yards.
Yes.
Which I believe both of these teams are top of the league in yak yards.
Yes, and that is important too. Honestly. I don't know any of the stats about that, but honestly, if you go back to the past few Super Bowls, I wonder if some of those teams did lead the league in yak, honestly, because that is really an important stat, because the more yards you create after the catch, the better you are for your team, obviously.
Well, that's a very telling stat, just because, teams can play off ball, off the receivers, and even though the receiver makes a catch, if you get them down, it's no big deal. But if they break it, then that leads to an explosive play, which is what hurts teams.
Yeah, And like not for nothing, it's a, like if your team is good at yards after the catch, it's a safer throw for the quarterback that turns into bigger plays.
Yeah.
So it's low risk, high reward kind of plays.
Yep. Yeah, I think Dan Quinn's going to have a tough time trying to figure out how to stop Tom Brady. I just don't know, and I think Belichick will find a way to stop him to some extent, to stop Matt Ryan, that is. And I think it'll be a good game. Like you said, there's only been 4-point the average of Patriots, or there's never been more than a 4-point game in the Patriots Super Bowls. So odds are it's a good game. But as interesting as it sounds, I'm going to take the Patriots by 4. And I'm going to take the Patriots 28-24, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Martinez made that same pick on the Armchair All-American NFL podcast earlier or yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the same score, but I picked the Falcons.
Oh, you picked the Falcons? Okay.
Yeah, I don't, and honestly, I don't know if that's just because I want the Falcons to win or if I actually think the Falcons will win. It should be a good game, though.
Yeah.
And I predicted, if I'm remembering, I think I said 31-27 in favor of the Patriots.
Yeah. So are you guys sticking with those picks then?
Yeah.
Well, of course I am. I'm not flip and flopping with anything having to do with the Patriots.
I guess my final spiel on why I think the Patriots will win. I just think they can win in more ways than the Falcons can. I think they can win in a close game. I think they can win in a blowout. I think they can win in a 10 to 14 point game. I just don't see the Falcons winning in any other way than a close high scoring game. That's the only way I see the Falcons winning.
Okay, that's fair. Falcons are used to just blowout and high scoring games.
Yeah. What do you think on that, Martinez?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they can win, and especially if they get their ground game going. So, I'm going to stick with my prediction of 28-24. Really, I just think the Falcons are going to win, or hope. Like I said, I don't know really.
See, that's where I'm getting out of the hope stages on this Super Bowl. I'm just like, yep, Patriots are going to win. It's meant to be, just like Ray Lewis and the Ravens, just like Peyton Manning and the Broncos last year. Brady's going to retire. That's my prediction. After the Super Bowl, Brady's going to retire.
No, he's not.
Yep, that's my prediction. After that emotional press conference that kid got to him, he's going to want to spend more time with his family. And if he wins the Super Bowl, he's proven he's the greatest of all time. Why would you play anymore?
Bold
In his
prediction.
words, I'll play when I suck.
Well, maybe he'll change his mind though. Now, if he wins,
maybe
that kid changed his mind.
Maybe he's talking about sucking back the tears from winning the Super Bowl.
Oh God! All right.
Oh, but yeah, I think if they lose, I don't think he'll retire. But if they win, which I think they will, I think he retires. I don't think he'll make the announcement right away, but then he'll be like, oh, I miss being with my family, and he's starting to become emotional as he gets older, more like...
Well, it's also like having to do with him retiring. Apparently his mom isn't in the best health. So that's the only reason I would say maybe he'd consider it, is because his mom isn't in the best health. Because if that wasn't part of the equation, then I don't think he's retiring.
Yeah, well, and his dad's his hero, and he wants to spend time with his dad, too. He wants to spend time with his kids and his dad and his mom, and if he wins a Super Bowl...
He can spend time with them from after Sunday until August, like until the end of August. That's when he can spend time with them.
And he's got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why would you come back? You have all the money in the world. You have one of the most beautiful women on the planet. You've got one of the most richest women on the planet. Not that you need the money, but she's got more money than you. And
she does.
You've got as many Super Bowls as any quarterback ever, are very close. He's better than Montana, I think, if he gets his another ring, and I think he's better than Montana already. But what else do you have left to prove if you win one more?
Just to continue the legacy, continue the legend.
I just don't see why he would continue. Maybe he will, but I think for all AFC East fans, they are hoping that he retires after this, and for some AFC North fans, apparently too.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think Matthew's hoping that I'm right on that prediction.
Yeah, I hope he retires.
But then that might work out perfectly because it'll give rise to Jimmy Goat Garoppolo. And then the dynasty continues
my.
and then their dynasty continues for another 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, but when's Belichick going to retire?
And then his son, Steve, who's already a coach in the Patriots organization, will take over.
This is like the LeBron thing. His kids are going to come in, and then they're going to have kids, and it's just going to keep going on with LeBron, and this is going to keep going on with the Patriots.
And then in about 10 years, Brady's son will be about the age to be drafted. and then it's just going to go on and on.
Jimmy G will retire, and Brady is back in the Foxborough groove, I guess.
Tom Brady the third.
Yeah.
TB3.
Oh my! If they made that a thing, that would be such a catchy thing for
there we go.
The whole country. But I think everybody hates the Patriots, according to many polls that people ran. Like, except for Patriots fans, everybody hates the Patriots.
Yeah. Apparently, according to our Cowboys writer, the Patriots are the second most hated team behind the Cowboys. But that might also be because the Cowboys refer to themselves as America's team.
I think everybody just hates hearing all the media talk about the Cowboys. I think that's the main thing.
Probably.
So, anything else from you guys? Any articles coming out that you guys want to talk about quick? Any end of that stuff?
I will say go check out the Armchair Express podcast on ArmchairAmeriCans.com and go follow AC All Americans on Twitter and Armchair NFL on Twitter.
Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry, Matt.
Any articles coming up from you guys at all?
I will be working on a preview of the Super Bowl either today or tomorrow, depending on how lazy I feel. But it will be done either today or tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, you can go check out my Unsung Heroes article on James Devlin and his contribution to the running game this season for the Patriots.
Yes, it's going to be a James Devlin and Patrick DeMarco Super Bowl.
They're going to be the MVPs, I'm calling it. Respective MVPs.
I've also got an article out. It's called Super Bowl Matchup, Coaches versus Coaches. I think I already mentioned it earlier on.
Okay.
It's just talking about the different schemes that are going to be competing.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. I appreciate you joining the You Don't Know Jack show today. And eventually, I don't want to spoil anything. I kind of already spoiled it in another show, but we may eventually be joining the Armchair All-Americans. Our podcast might eventually be going over there. So maybe we'll have to convene in the future again, and maybe it could be less than a 2-hour podcast next time.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But, I mean, at the same time, it is a Super Bowl week. I understand that there's a lot to talk about.
Yes, and I added a lot of other stuff in there, too. So you guys can watch, or you guys can listen to this in, like, multiple segments if you have to. We did leave in some commercials, so you can kind of do that. But yeah, it went a little long, but that's what happens when you're having fun talking football, and it's good. I'm glad you guys could join me, and I had a good time.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Thanks for having us.
You bet.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, guys. And that is Matthew Martinez and Daniel Neira. And you can follow both of them on Twitter. And you can follow Daniel Neira. I believe his name is I'm at Dirty Dan on 93 on Twitter. I'm just going to make sure on that. And it is at I'm Dirty Dan 93, all lowercase, no apostrophes, no nothing. And you can follow Matthew Martinez on Twitter at Matthew_Mart. So be sure to follow them on Twitter, and don't forget to follow our show on Twitter at Don't Know Jack Show. And next week we'll come back on the show and we'll have a recap of the Super Bowl, and we'll talk a little bit more about the NBA as that season starts to progress. And we may also start talking a little bit about March Madness, because that is coming up around the corner as well. It's about a month away. So it's coming up very fast. Sports continues, even though the NFL season is coming to an end. A new season lays ahead, along with the draft and many other items to talk about on the You Don't Know Jack Show. So be sure to stay with us throughout the rest of the year and always. And you can catch the show on many platforms: iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and all those places. Don't forget to check out armchairallamericans.com. I also write for them, so you can check out my articles there. And I also post them to our website, youdon'tknowjackshow.com. Thanks again to Daniel Neira and Matthew Martinez. So long. We'll see you next week on the You Don't Know Jack Show.
Thanks for listening to the You Don't Know Jack Show with Jonah, Aaron, and Carson. If you want to read articles, get more information, or have questions about the show, go to our website, youdon'tknowjackshow.com. You can subscribe and listen to the show on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio.
I'm here so I won't get fined.